Hi, we're here, Clean Slate People, with Victor Ramirez, and he's kindly agreed to do an additional interview with us today. And specifically, Victor, you were speaking about the unique needs within the Beltway, inside the Beltway communities, not only of the more dense and more diverse populations, but also that there are municipalities and there are unincorporated areas, and that the needs are different there. Would you like to address that?
Yes, thank you so much, Kate. It's these are topics that are very important, and this is where the rubber meets the road, kind of the county issues. I like to call them the quality of life issues that the county should play a role in. As you mentioned, in Prince George County, we have municipalities, and we have other areas that aren't covered by the municipalities, non-incorporated areas. In District 2, I'll give you an example. In District 2, you have Mount Rainier, Brentwood, North Brentwood, and Hyattsville. Municipalities, Public Works covers a lot of the services, picking up the trash, making sure that the streets are shoveled and the snow are plowed when it's snowing, making sure that that code enforcement, they have their own code enforcement. Some of them have their own police department. And so a lot of the services that the county would otherwise provide, the municipalities provide. And then you have unincorporated areas such as Adelphi, Chillum, Langley Park, which do not have, they're not covered by the municipalities, and therefore the county provides the services. And I think COVID kind of highlighted some of the services that are needed in this area, and that is picking up the trash on a reliable basis. Litter, there seems to be a lot of litter in our community for whatever reason. Making sure that the streets are repaired in time, making sure the potholes are repaired, making sure that when it's snowing that snow plows are out there, making sure that that services that we see every day, and that the residents of Prince George County pay property taxes, making sure that their money is reinvested back into their communities, and part of that is the services that the county provides. And so a lot of people don't realize that that if you don't live in municipality, then the services are all provided by the county. And so I think that for most of for the people who live in the municipalities, I mean, that's a plus, because when the trash is going to be picked up, when certain things are going to be repaired, and you have a municipality that's more responsive, that's also responsive to you as well. If you live in a municipality, and you really when issues come to light, you have a municipality that you can go to and say, I agree with this, or I don't agree with this, and then you have a municipality can also be there in support of what the citizens and residents want or don't want.
In terms of the county council's actions going forward, what kinds of things do you think should be on the plate and in consideration to really help and support the inner Beltway districts, or just all the districts?
Well, I think we in my opinion, I think we have to start thinking about affordable housing for all our families. There's ideas, and there's policies that we can consider, such as inclusionary zoning around new development. And we have an opportunity inside the Beltway with the Purple Line. There's going to be development there. There's opportunities going to be apartments being built, housing being built, and why not try to make sure that there's a certain percentage for everyone, and for there may be 15-20% of housing that should be set aside for families that fall into a certain income. I think that that's something we should certainly consider and look at. Also, accessory dwellings in our county. to give the authority or to municipalities to, to to those municipalities who want to do that. Accessory dwelling, as you probably know, Kate, is being enabled to build an addition at your house for additional housing. Some people call it small apartments. Some people, call it an extension. But I know that other places around the country, or even around the Washington area, are doing this, and so that's something else to also consider where we're looking towards the future regarding affordable housing. So,
Victor, I'm just going to throw one more question at you, just because it's so delightful talking to you. One of the things that we've often seen with these issues with housing or with workforce development and so on and so forth is a sort of expectation that some big operation is going to come from outside. Some big box developer, big box solution or something. And yet what you just pointed to is something that I see as a far more organic and natural way for things to happen, which is for solutions to come from within the community, from within the people, and where the people say, here's what we need. Here's the next step that we need to get to. For instance, with housing, maybe, yes, the ability to have a little rentable unit, on your own property. With workforce development, I think one of the things is for people who have skills and who have tremendous capability in terms of their trade to get to the next step of becoming the business owner and knowing how to do hiring, firing, payroll, taxes, get those licenses and certifications and be able to bid, on projects. Can I ask you to comment on this kind of issue?
Certainly, I think that we have a large workforce here. Now, how do we take it? How do we take that large workforce and make them the owners of their businesses? And that's the next step I think that we all should start looking at, is how do we take the person that knows how to do every position at their job and say, you have the skills. Now, how do we make you not just the worker, but the owner of a company, so you can go and hire other people and train other workers, and give more job opportunities. And I think that we have I think we certainly have an opportunity, and we should look into how do we do that. And I think our county must play a role into doing that. I think we have the ability and the capacity. Now it's just, and this is an opportunity, as to, do we, how do we bring other businesses or even unions to say, please train us, please help us train the workforce, so they can not only be the workers, but also be the owners of the companies. And like you said, I think running a business, and I run a small office, I mean, it's more than just practicing law at times. It's making sure that the payroll is there, making sure your books are balanced, making sure that customer service, I mean, it's every little thing, that the responsibility that they don't teach you at school, as I like to say, that you're kind of learning as you go along. And I think there's plenty of people who have the ability. It's just a matter of, but also giving them the confidence to say, you can do this. You don't have to start big. You can start by one employee, two employees, and then how do you grow it? And then with that also, I think it's, making sure that people have the opportunity to have affordable rent, even in commercial leasing, even opening up your own store or shop. How do we make it affordable in the budget that your business plan has? And quite honestly, that's one of the things we're starting to look at, even inside the Beltway, with so much development. The rent has gone up for a lot of the businesses as well. And how do we keep the small businesses who have been there for 15, 20 years there? Because if not, some are looking to move out somewhere else. And to me, that's also something that I think the county is going to have to look into, is how do we support small businesses that have been here for years, and especially have hung in there, through this pandemic that we're currently experiencing.
Yeah, and I so agree with you because those businesses are anchoring points and they are information deliverers too. You know, I think of the hardware stores where you could go in and say, I have to fix my faucet, and they'd say, oh, you need a such and such thing, you know, and they would lead you through and help you.
No,
So I really agree with you. Victor, I'm going to pause here and stop this here, but I would like to welcome you back for some other interviews on some of these topics because you're such a fountain of.
well, thank you. I try, but I appreciate your kind comments. Thank you.
Sure. Hold on, let me